Hi, today as it's a Saturday, I usually do a little bit more. Here is a feisty Grandmaster game between Grandmaster Arabicfalcon, is what they call themselves, Grandmaster Arabicfalcon, their Grenville, is playing, and he's obviously from Emirates or so. And Dr. Mortimer is the Grandmaster who's playing black. So I happened to catch this 3-minute game and I was able to share it to my email address. So here we go. I'm going to maybe comment, but otherwise we're just going to have a look at this feisty, spicy chess game, 3-minute chess. So we've got a King's Indian coming up, okay? For black, of course. This is a typical King's Indian, and I seem to think that I remember that this is very, very popular, knight g3. So white's just targeting maybe gonna, yeah, so here comes h4. So yeah, this is all right. F3, and now black targets the h4 pawn. Which may or may not help white or help black. So it's check. We only get that happen once in the game, so be feeling privileged. Now what would you do? The Grandmaster played a certain move. What would you play? Rook h4, bishop f2, or what? The Grandmaster played king d2, bishop h5. Now, upon looking at this, one can see what the Grandmaster Arabic Falcon is on here. So if pawn takes here, then queen takes pawn, and we've got the engine on, haven't we? Always do it. And now it's very, very sad for black, very quickly, even though it looks like black was doing really well. So here we have this bishop has been attacked by the rook and the queen together. It's hard to defend it. And if moves like knight f6, then white just takes the bishop on h4, or something. We'll just turn the engine on to say what it suggests for black here, and I hope I don't muck it up now. We'll just turn the engine off. We'll turn the engine off because I might have to set this up again. I'm a bit surprised about queen h6. I would have thought that just queen h4 would be good. Oh no, queen h4 is no good because of knight e4 and that. So I'm going to turn this off and get back to the game, hopefully. Yes, we're back to the game. But before that was if queen takes the bishop on h4, then knight e4 check, and then queen takes queen defends for black. Everyone can see that. a4, rook ag1, a3. Shall we take that pawn, or what do we do? Shall we play b3? Because I'd probably play here b3, but white doesn't. White plays e5. This is very, very odd and very feisty and very entertaining. So here we have this. Does black get met with just here fe5? No. Black gets met with knight ge4, which looks really odd. So all sorts of things are happening here. Taking. Now white's threatening this eventuality So this looks like, oh yeah, black just wins this bishop here. I think that's what happens, yeah, 94. And it looks like it's all on here. Bishop d4 until you see queen f5, of course. Very easy to see once we get here. Queen a5 check. Now what shall we do? See, this is the thing about chess at all times. You have to be able to think, what do I do now? The Grandmaster plays King e2 against the Black Grandmaster game. It's all happening over here, isn't it? I hope I've got the engine off. No, I haven't. Queen b4, and now it looks like, well, don't we just go crunching in here? So do we just not just go crunching in here? No, white plays against Grandmaster Dr. Mortimer from basically England or from the UK, plays, you guessed it, b3. And this is protecting white's king from flak attacks. So queen e7, which is actually a move I thought of for black here when I was watching this game. But here comes bishop g6, and this is quite sad because of this and this. Now if bishop g7, bishop g7, I can see things happening here in Little China. So maybe we can go, maybe I would like to go rook g7 here. And I'll just see what the computer says. Oh, rook e6. Oh, of course. So that's not very nice to see that I missed rook e6. Engine switch off. So we're going to go now this, and after the next move, which is easy to see, black resigned, and we cannot go here, of course. We could play this, but it's a lot longer and probably no good because I'm helping at the wheel. There are things in this position I quite like, but this is met with this, okay? And here you can see that black resigned this 3-minute game, although the games were very close knit, fought games and that sort of thing. Black would be wanting to play this sometime because it's quite handy, but they can't, of course, with these rooks bearing down here. Next game for you is one of my own, so if you want to have a look at that, that's good. This is what I consider a wild encounter, and I'm black, so I'm going to flip the board, and here we go. All's quiet, and now this opponent is about 70 sort of rating points above my lightning, which can't be that great, but it's pretty feisty, this game. I quite liked it until I looked at it on the computer, and the computer found all sorts of things wrong with my play and that of whites. Now we'll show you something that happens here. So take this bishop, so it's sort of like pretty deadly, sort of taking this bishop. Queen g4 check, and actually white should win this. Rook g1 threatening, of course. Queen g7 now. If rook g8, then why is that no good? Very simple to see, because of what? Not queen takes, rook or queen moves away, but merely knight f7 check. Now make sure the engine's off, cancel, make sure the engine's off. So after this, New variation, we have knight f7 checkmate. Ouch. So just practical stuff. So I played bishop f6, which is of course defending g7. It's the only thing that I believe I can do here. Knight g6. Here comes another piece being offered up. So I take it. Maybe I shouldn't take it. But it's very crazy, this game. So hg6, then we have just queen g6. Now what's black threatening? What's black threatened with? I'd like to be the one threatening here. Is queen h6 check, and that's checkmate. So I have to do something about it, and guess what? My move was very, very lame. This is where I come to a position that I'm lost in. Now everyone can see what white can do here next move and win, sort of like in 2 moves it's sort of checkmate, or 3 moves it's checkmate from queen e7. So we've got here the instant move that I would play is queen h6 that I missed, and after queen h7, queen f8 and queen g8 is checkmate. But my opponent forgo this possibility, forwent it, and I play this, and I'm thinking, oh, please don't play queen h6, because here I'm just thinking, well, I'm going to take this bishop, risking that my opponent sees it this time. But no, my opponent didn't. So now I have to play knight d7. Now I'm defending this rook on f8 should the queen now decide to go to h6. Plus if knight takes bishop, then I'm going to play queen takes. Am I? No, I'm not. This might be good too. New variation, I'm going to play knight takes here. And this is the best form of defense that I can muster. And if black is met with this, then not queen here for same sort of aforementioned reasons where the red arrow shows, but knight h7, and all of a sudden I'm starting to defend quite nicely. Who knows what the position's like though. So here we got this move. Now, what do I do now? I'm really stuck, but this is 5-minute chess, remember. So what I do now is I don't want to move this knight. I don't want to take this pawn. It's sort of like if I take this pawn, I get checkmated on the spot with queen h6 checkmate. If my opponent sees it, I play here. And because I want to leave this knight defending this, and the rook on f8, very important that it's defended, and probably the bishop as well. And here, if this move now, then I believe I can just take here, and it's very feisty, let me tell you. So if we go here like this, okay, new variation, then this is quite nice for black. I think it's very nice, because if we have king f2, then we have bishop d4 check, and really white's in trouble here. If this, then can I play something sneaky here? I probably would take the rook first, or else I'd just play rook here. But I'm not entirely sure without putting the computer on it. So here we've got this position here. Castles. What else? And now what did I play? Now I'm not saying that this is any good because the computer found a way out, but I played F. I took the F pawn on F2. Now this obviously threatens pawn takes rook, queen and putting the rook to the back rank. So rook g3 happens. Now I play the obvious move. What is that? Bishop h4? No. I play f1 queen because now I'm defending this rook check from happening. So black gets to lose their queen and I play bishop g5. Now my opponent probably just about thinking, what the heck's going on? Who is this crazy New Zealander? This person's crazy. Rook g5 because it's check, of course. So no other moves will do other than knight takes g5 or queen takes g5 because it's check. Now comes rook f1. Now here king d2, I play queen b4 check. And here the best move according to Fritz is king d3. And then after rook d1 I get met with king e3, queen e1, check, etc. But my opponent plays here king e3, I play queen e1, and now I've got a mate coming up. Believe it or not, there's a mate coming up that I actually saw. Rook f3, or I can sense that there's going to be trouble for this king here, where it is trying to live. And so my opponent plays here, and everyone can see queen a5 checkmate. So that's quite nice. I quite like that game. It's probably because I played it. Now the third game for you today is another game of mine, and here it goes. Let's get into it. e4, e6. So we all know who black is, especially now. c5, even though it's being played and it's on the database f5. Now here I thought after that, when I was placing this on my database, I thought maybe probably cd4 here, because I do play this on my cell phone. So cd4 here. There's something wrong with chess 24 as well, because I'm on that for my clock keeps ticking, even though it's my opponent's move. I can't make any moves, so there's a glitch. I found out on the internet that there's a glitch with it. I play knight c6 here, so this gives white the opportunity to strengthen up their d4 square. Knight h6, very cheeky, because of course my opponent can just lift this, but my opponent, I just took the punt that my opponent wasn't going to play bishop h6, which is probably very good. I just took the risk. So it's not a move I would try in a match game. Bishop e7, even though it was suggested to me a long time ago from one of the the Canterbury chess champions, when we were looking at the Wade variation in the French. So I'm getting rid of this bad bishop of mine, and so now I'm left with a good bishop versus the bad bishop. So that's a lot of the continuing play around that sort of scenario. Here, if gf5, I capture with the knight, and so that I keep a nice strength of, I keep my pawns here like this. Sorry about the whistle. g5, knight f7, b3, and now play b5, and here I was expecting a4, but my opponent didn't play that. I'm not quite sure what I would have done against a4. Oh yeah, that's right, I was just going to play a6. Yes, of course. Okay, so rook g2. Now my opponent's sort of wanting to maybe push to g6. So this is actually a stimuli move, g6. I play g6 instead, preventing same. And now, unlike the other game the other day, now I've got this. These pawns are reasonably well defended by a backup pawn on g6, if you get what I mean. If the pawn is taken on d5, and then something is loose on f5, there's a pawn on g6 to back it up. Rook f2. I'm not very impressed with this play. I'm actually planning, believe it or not, and white's not doing very well on the planning front. You do have to plan in lightning chess, I believe. h4. So this is all right. This looks like a plan from white's hand. Rook fc8. So I'm working all down the queen side. I'm behaving myself. Now I play rook to b8 from wherever it was, d8 or c8. Yeah, so I play this to reposition it, and obviously white cannot contest this open b file of ours. Rook h2, so they still continue to look at the king side. Fair enough. That's the theatre of war that white is to concentrate on, and in the centre. But the centre is rather somewhat fixed and closed, so that's not where it's good to go. I play king g7, so that if h5, which happens I believe, then if h6, I'm just going to move my king back, or probably to h8, or if takes here, then I'm just going to capture on here. Oops, okay, so if white eventually plays hg6, opening up the h file completely, then I will be able to contest for the same on with my rooks on b8 and a8, etc. So here's bishop a3. Now I'm obviously kind of threatening this, but I'm not really, because black would just meet rook b1. But I'll play this, and my opponent plays back to bishop c1 and go back, because as previously mentioned, I'm not going to give white the opportunity to swap off their bad bishop for my good one. And this is obviously attacking the rook as well as the pawn, so it sort of starts to crumble here. Now I'm attacking the bishop on e3 with check threat, so bishop f2, then rook b2, rook b2 threatens the queen, the knight and the queen sort of thing. And so white sadly goes back here, and my opponent is 2076 or so on, or 2083. I'll play queen d4, but this is what happens when one gets pressure. Queen f4. So all these pawns are making white's bishop good again on e1. But all these pawns I'm grabbing are not good for white to lose. They're no good, because yeah. Anyway, so rook b1, and now what would you play? I just what do I play? I play a3. So I'm presenting this pawn for duty on a3 now, to become passed. And here black is met with queen c2. It's neither here nor there now, because this is also the threat too that I can play if I look at it. So queen c2 stops my c3 idea. I play rook a2, and now this is threatening all sorts of stuff really. Probably mainly this or this. Queen b1, knight b4. Now I'm threatening this deadly looking move as well, but I don't necessarily play it. Knight e5. So some people would play c3 and c2, which looks very, very good, or whatever white plays against it. That looks very handy for black, but I just played knight e5. So how did I clean up? Okay, how did I clean this up? Because now black's threatened with bishop e4 and queen a2, etc. So what do I do now? I play, yes, you guessed it, rook a1, and now it's very sad for the queen. The queen has only got queen takes pawn on b2, unless they want to be silly and play queen takes rook. Now I'm threatening just rook f1 and queen f1 checkmate. Queen c3, so this is the end of the session. Okay, so we have queen f1 and that's checkmate. That is the end of the session. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going off to a church picnic. Thank you for viewing. I hope your chess gets better no matter what your level of chess playing ability is. Thank you, David Wegener, over and out.